Hello guys, welcome to CS Tech Solution. Today's is learning SQL. Today is learn SQL in store procedure. What is a store procedures? As store procedures is save the groups of the SQL statement and store inside the database. And the instance of the writings in same SQL queries as again and again. You has to create a store procedures and once and then execute it as whenever as needed. And the real life examples, imaging ATMs as a press the check balance, and the ATMs is runs as a predefined the process, and as a press as the withdraw money, and the ATMs is runs another predefined process. And seminars in SQL stores procedures is a predefined set of the SQL commands. And why use the store procedures is run the multiple SQL statement together as reuse the same code in many times, and improve the performance, increase the database security, and easy to maintain. And a syntax as the create a procedure, and procedure names is to give in the counts inside the parameter 1 and the data type, and commas as the parameter 2 and the data type, and many has to write in this as a brackets, and as a begins, and inside as a SQL statement to be the execute in one, and the many has to write, and last is a end to end the procedure. And the explanation as a create a procedure is a create a new store procedures, and the procedure underscore names is a names of the procedure, and the parameters is as a input the values as a optional, and as means as a start a procedure's body, and the beginning and end is a constraints as between the SQL statement is gives, and the many statement is gives in a beginning and as between. In the types of stores procedures, first as a system stores procedure is created by the SQL server and used for as a database management. In the example as a show the information about the customer tables. And the second type is a user defined store procedure as a UDP is created by the users and as a use for as a business operations. And third is a extended store procedure is execute the external programs such as a C++, and the rarely used in a modern SQL servers. In the example as a used to the interact with as a operating systems or as a external applications. And fourth is a CLR store procedure is a writing using the C# or as a VB.NET, and used for as a complex calculations or as a advanced business logics. And the example as C# is a procedures that as validates the data as before the saving it into the database. And the benefit of as a store procedures as a benefit, and the explanations as to gives as the fast performance. SQL server is compiled the procedures as once, and so it execute as a faster, and the reusables as a write once and use as a many times. As a security as a users can execute a procedures as a without direct access to the table, and easy maintenance, and as change the procedures as once, and all the applications is used to update the versions, and less network traffics as one as a procedures as calls can execute many SQL statements. And example, inside the one table has to give of the customer's detail as a customer IDs, customer name, as a contact names, and as a countries. And as a queries like procedures, as a create procedure, and the procedure names is get the customers by as a country, and as a at the rate is countries in as a at the rate parameters and the data types is optional, as a at the rate parameters is a country, and as a data type is a varchars, and the counts inside the size is 50. And as after as a begins and end with between as give the SQL statement as select as a customer's names and the contact names. Two field is show the output, and from as a table name is a customers, and where the country is equal as at the rate and the parameters names has to give like at the rate as a country and the semicolon, and as a end, and after the semicolons is there, and execute this produce procedure. So as a use the exec is a execute, and the procedure names is get the customers by the countries, and at the rate as the parameters is the countries equal, and as a countries names like India. So the this the parameters to as get the values in this SQL queries, and find only the India's countries as India's countries customers names and the contact number. So as India's is the first record in the customers as the Subham as a Thakur. So as gives the output like customers names and the contact names. So as customers names is gives as a Subhams, and the contact names is a Thakur as to show in the output. Thank you guys to watch the videos. Please subscribe the channel, on the notification and bell icon.